Joey, how come you never do puns in Nyanja? Well, I have a friend named after the apostle that's obsessed with boobs. Zina yake nipo. Anyway, so this week Iris wore a see-through dress and wantu wanamuone lamu. But I understand her because being a celebrity is hard and she was just trying to find a way to stay abreast. Imagine being at that lunch with your girl. You can't even look the wrong direction because once you do, you'll be talking to yourself for the rest of the night. That was a booby trap. See, every time something like this happens, Facebook becomes like a rush that you get from wearing a cheap necklace. There's a chain reaction. And whenever this happens, the first thing that we hear about is how this generation is just a problem. How are you kids your generation? I hate how we all have to suffer just because of something that one person did. I respect older people, but sometimes they really act like they grew up in Jesus' generation. As we are with Apostle Paul at Jerusalem High, that wedding where Jesus turned the water to grape juice. Me and my 4 cousins even drank some of the wine. And I'm low-key tempted to think that even in Jesus' generation, there were some older people who were like, but the miracles of these days, I miss the days of David. The same David that killed someone because of bums. Just like a faulty iPhone, every generation has its bad apples. I mean, the same generation that gave us Jesus also gave us Judas. You children of these days, you like sex too much, says the grandpa who had 14 kids in 7 years. Every year it was just 2 by 2, caterpillar by 2. Children these days are junkies, says the grandma at the corner that's brewing kachasu. The reason you children are broke these days is because you don't know how to handle money. Okay, but Dangote is a billionaire. How come you failed to cement your position in life? That joke was hard. One person decided to show her boobs and then now we are all the problem. Like, remember in high school when one of your friends got pregnant and then your mom was just looking at you weird for the rest of the week? So this is what you children are doing these days. But I haven't done anything. And at that time the only baby that you had was the one that you make with a jersey. Throwing an entire generation under the bus because of something that one person did is pointless. Kind of like a boob with no nipples. Can you just imagine if we used to do the same thing to older people? An older lady gets caught doing witchcraft and you go to a random grandma in the road. But your generation and witchcraft, hello, I shouldn't even hear that you are flying at night. In fact, I'm even hiding the broomstick. You hear a parent lost their house because of debt and you walk into the house saying, hello, I shouldn't even hear that there's Nkongole in the house. The only lawn that you should be focusing on is the grass outside. Ni mahuzuche. Now kids, I'm not saying you should disrespect your parents. I'm just using this for illustration only. When they slap you, I will not be there. But I just feel there's a way to send a message without demeaning the rest of us for the actions of one person. This is the same problem I have with people that say, how can things like this be happening in Zambia, a Christian nation? And then, just because of that, people think Zambia is going to be like WWE when John retires. No sinners. Usually what I hate is that the people that act better than everyone else are usually the worst. And a lot of us actually do this. You judge someone for having a tattoo when you're a drunkard. What you have in common is that you're both going to hell because of a black label. You want to judge someone for eating pork because it's unclean, but last night you were eating a cat. I'll let that sink in. It reminds me of that time when I went out and I wore my Media Hub t-shirt and one religious brother from church texted me and said, Brother Joel, how can you be wearing such things in public? I said, Brother Titus, how do you know what this shirt means? And you know, one of the bad things about societal standards, if we're keeping it honest, they're usually harsher on women than men. This is the reason why no one remembers the name of the guy that Iris did the video with. A man can be a drunkard, but just let a woman be seen with a bottle of Cabernet Sauvignon, and all of a sudden everyone's going to start whining. Even just in some church settings, a woman dressed inappropriately is going to draw more attention than a man who has multiple kids from different women. Hello, he doesn't even pay his offerings and tithes. I guess the only seed that he's sowing is, see, men are not good people. I mean, the pastor that was trying to sleep with his members got less attention than Deborah when she wore that mesh outfit. I guess that net she was wearing managed to fish more attention. And it's like people don't even realize when people like Iris and Deborah do this, it's usually just a marketing strategy. And the only reason this works is because the same people that criticize her are the ones that secretly download these images and share them. At this rate, the only thing faster than 4G in this Christian nation is the rate at which Zambians drop their numbers in comment sections when someone says, I have the video, drop your line. Someone's father at XA, can you send me the chinudes? At your age, With 3 children even. Awe Mwandisho. And the funniest thing with some of these men is the same women that they criticize are the ones that they're going to end up cheating on their wives with. You want the heart of a Proverbs 31 woman, but you're on Facebook liking the bums of Jezebel. Just like a one kwacha, you need to change. And they want to be the same people insulting others that sin differently online in the name of Zambia is a Christian nation. That's like Gloria from Madagascar telling Motomoto that he needs to lose some weight because he's too fat. That would make her a hypocrite. I remember there was a scandal last year, and it's funny how when a man of God sins and then all of a sudden people realize he's just human, everyone falls short of the glory. How I just wish that same grace could be extended to everyone else. Now, am I saying that we should accept everything just because we're afraid of being labeled judgmental or because we also sin? Of course not, because I feel we still need truth and guidance. Because I think we can all agree that this generation is morally corrupt. I just feel, especially when it comes to social media, that there's a better way to handle situations like this. But that's a video for another day. In conclusion, number 1, let's learn to practice what we preach. Number 2, don't be too judgmental. And number 3, Brother Titus, you are a pervert.